Dolores here from Shape Your World Coaching. I am an intuitive transformational healer and rapid ascension coach, here to help you to recreate and to create your world in the way and in the shape and in the vision that you would like to see for it. I do very high level 5D healing. My results are literally rapid for clients, the results that you receive. So that's hence the name. And I'm trained in a number of different modalities, including the Akashic Records, Toltec Shamanism, Crystal Healing, Sacred Energy Healing, Transformational Coaching Method, and more. So today I'm with you for Top Tip Tuesday. Yay! The crowds. And I am excited to share this with you all from lovely Somerset, where I'm staying with a friend. I'm in Southeast England. Southwest England. And you'll see behind me this gorgeous field that I'm walking through today. It's quite lovely. And yeah, I felt inspired to share this with you all. So this week's Sunday sermon, I spoke more about the incredible vortex of energy and portals that have been opening up for each of us ever since November 11th. Some of what's going on, I'll share this with each of you. Ooh, itchy ear. Is so numerology. I've spoken about this in previous videos. We are in right now a number 1 year. Last year was a number 9 year. Last year was numerology. It's all about completion, tying up of loose ends, really tying up and coming to a completion point and completion energy for what we need. It doesn't mean that there won't still be things ongoing in this year, but it's all reaching to a conclusion point and conclusion energy that was begun last year. So this year, it's all about, continuing and finishing to tie up those loose ends and really getting us ready, each of us, for what is to come. In this year, number 1 year, is also along with all of that conclusion and completion energy, is fresh starts. Number 1 is all about fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings, and either really going forward into that energy. And if you look at it like a work project plan, for instance, being right in the middle of your project timeline for this year, and or you may be more in sort of planning stages in the beginning before your project has actually begun. Either way, it's all about fresh starts, new beginnings, and really looking at how do you want your world to be shaped? How do you want your life to be for you? Are there any dreams, any big changes that you keep thinking about going over in your head and wondering, oh, if only I could do that, if only. If you're doing all of that, big clue. That is your inner spirit, your soul, and also your spirit guide team. We all have spirit guides really talking to you and saying, hey, look, make some changes. Do it. So, so a little bit of a tip there for you. Also, adding to what I shared in the Sunday sermon video for this week, we are in an incredible shift of energy. So 1111, part of why that's a really powerful number in numerology terms is, again, that number 1. So if a 1 year is all about fresh starts, new beginnings, clean slates, 1111, it's amplified. It's amplified even more. And what happens when we have these very powerful numbers, you can call them divine numbers. Some people say angel numbers. Some just say, hey, it's numerology. Whatever works for you. And whether or not you believe in these things, you will be feeling it. You will be noticing a huge shift going on. And that's because you are living on this planet. You're alive. And simply by virtue of that, you are soaking in all this incredible new energy. I spoke in detail on the Sunday sermon about the shifting trajectory and literally the shifting rotational spin of Earth right now, in terms, and also in terms of how Earth, our planet, is lining up with other planets, and how all of that fits together, and what effect it has in terms of the energy, in terms of the openings, and in terms of the results that you will be feeling. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that yet, I highly encourage you to, because there's a lot more detail there that explains it all. Okay, so back to 1111. It's a huge surge of energy, of this fresh start, clean slate energy. So chances are, again, if there are things that you haven't yet done that you would like to, maybe changes in your life, changes for you, maybe old habits, old patterns, maybe old relationships, ways of looking and feeling in the world that just don't fit you anymore. And if you haven't taken steps to change those things yet, you're going to be feeling increasingly that now is the time. Now is the time for you to do that. So, so I just got some really cute dogs. You can see, walking. But anyway, so yeah, you're going to be feeling that. And there's something incredible that happens for you with all of these opportunities, and with feeling it even more strongly. And essentially what's happening, if you visualize it a little bit, one of the things that comes to me is it's like this incredible magic doorway that suddenly appears. And I tend to see it a bit in this shape, a bit circular at the top. Whatever comes to you, whether or not you're a visual person like me, you will be feeling this incredible opportunity, and you will be feeling the urge to make your changes ASAP. Like, do it yesterday kind of stuff. And part of what's happening is it's getting us each ready for what's to come. There's even more incredible stuff on its way. But like any good project plan, or like anything really, we need to deal with what is in our immediate sphere first. And if we don't do that, we're not going to, and you're not going to be able to as fully be able to welcome in everything that's coming. So dealing with the stuff you've got on your plate now is seriously going to help you in such a big way, such a big way. And part of why is that it literally just creates space for you. And without that space, I mean, you may trudge along and you may kind of get to where you want to go, but it's not going to be as effective. Being completely honest, it's not going to be as effective as if you give yourself that full chance to really dive in without all this extra stuff cluttering and clogging your path, getting in the way. And by stuff, I mean fears, worries, doubts, unhelpful patterns, unhelpful behaviors, unhealthy behaviors. I mean relationships that no longer serve you, making yourself small, dull, self-destructive patterns, self-medicating. You know, instead of dealing with your issues at hand, turning to things like drink or alcohol, or I don't know, one night stands, like whatever it is. This is not about judgment, by the way. None of this is about judgment. I've been in those places. I know what it's like in my own journey. You know, I've been there, and I've moved through the other side, and I've had help to get me there. So none of it is about judgment at all. It's just saying, look, being completely straight with you, completely honest, if you're still doing that stuff instead of facing your reality and taking action on the things that are not helping you, it's just going to be more difficult. That's just how it is. It doesn't mean you won't eventually get there. It just means that if you deal with your stuff, you're giving yourself that much more of an incredible chance and opportunity. You're adding tools to your arsenal, essentially, and you're making it so that when you do take action and steps, if you deal with your stuff, you're making it so that your way forward will be so much more smooth and so much easier. So that's another tip. Third tip, I highly recommend that you start thinking about, if you don't do this already, what is your energy and what is other people's? What's your stuff? What actually belongs to you? This is a really powerful tip for you. Because part of what's happening as well is that we are in this age, we are in this world now. I've spoken about it in a few previous videos already, about the divine feminine. Literally, in the molecules in the air, in Earth's planet, and part of this is the shifting of the rotational sphere and realignment. Moving through space in a slightly different way means you're going to be encountering slightly different things in your orbit, right? Maybe slightly different molecules. Doesn't need to be like a huge thing, like an asteroid coming in. Maybe there will be a few, who knows? But even just that little bit extra, let's say it's like a 0.000008%, even just that in molecular terms, even just that can make a big difference sometimes. So we are absorbing all of that, and we're soaking it in to our skin, into our brain cells, and our mouths, fingers, and it gets into our organs, our blood, all of that. The food we eat, the things we drink, we're all absorbing these slightly, the subtle shifts, but it is shifting. And it's shifting in a beautiful way. And so here's a quick tip to help you start to really be able to, because sometimes it can feel difficult. And what I'm about to say, sorry, I'm moving around a little bit. That's part of my my home planet. I'm being completely honest in this. Chances are most of us, actually, our souls don't originate on Earth. I'm one of those. When I first heard it, I was like, what? That's kind of crazy. But look, I've gone through so much over the years that not much phases me now. And I've come to terms with it. And I've had a lot of experiences since then. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, that's how it goes. So anyway, figuring out, and that was just to say that one of the things for my home planet means that, like, we kind of jump around a little bit. We used to living in, our souls originated in a different part of the universe where, how do I say this? Things were not so linear. And so sometimes that can seep into our consciousness now, and it's a trait. Once you start delving into this stuff, it's quite fascinating, actually. I highly recommend that if this calls to you, that you start checking it out, because a lot of stuff will probably start to make sense for you about your personality and how you've always been. The things that you thought were so weird, actually, it makes sense when you dive in. So anyway, okay, backing up. So part of what I'm about to share with you is important, because we need to, this ties into what I just said, actually. We need to be able to figure out what is our stuff in order to make sense, in order a lot of times to know how to take steps forward. If you don't know, let's say, if you're not sure if a particular issue or something, a long-held belief you've had about yourself originated with you in the first place, or if it was something that someone told you, there's a train in the background, told you, and then you decided that it was true about you because maybe you heard it when you were little, very little, and you didn't necessarily know any different. It's important, and it's really empowering to really start to figure this stuff out, because once you know, you can do something about it, and from an empowered position to actually take change. And it also helps you to figure out what your action plan is. And if you're seeking support and help, that person will be there to help you through this as well, so you don't have to do it on your own. So there, another tip. Another tip for you. But what I was about to go into is how to figure out what is your stuff, what is your energy, in conjunction with or as opposed to anyone else's. And it's not about us and them. It's not about that. It's just figuring out what is yours and what is someone else's, so you can figure out what you're going to do about it if it's something that's unhelpful and you don't want in your life anymore. So quick tip, close your eyes. Get somewhere you can be quiet and alone, undisturbed. And what you do is you just close your eyes and just slowly breathe in and out. In and out. That kind of pace. Do that at least, I'm hearing, in between 4 to 5 times. And once you've done that, because that's a nice kind of settling period. And what that does, by the way, those deep breaths, it literally kind of just resets your brain. And it gets you ready for what's coming next. It can feel quite nice, and it extra oxygen, all that. None of these are bad things. And so yeah, so you center yourself that way. And just a little exercise. Start thinking to yourself and noticing, how do you feel in your body? Not what are the thoughts you have about yourself. How does your body feel? Do you feel any tension anywhere? Do you feel any nervousness? Do you feel maybe a muscle is tight or sore? Do you feel difficulty breathing? All of those sorts of things. Just notice and start to pay attention to how your body feels. How do you feel? Just you. Just you. Not your thoughts. Not what people tell you. How does your body feel to you? Now, once you've done that, the next step, and so all of this is with your eyes closed. So the next step is to, there's some more ducks. Oh, hello. Got some barking ducks. They're so cute. So the next step, I love this. I love it. It's so sweet. So the next step is to, you've got your eyes closed, you're breathing, you're noticing how your body feels. The next step, again with your eyes still closed, and maybe you want to take a few more deep breaths at that point, like 2 to 3, I'm hearing, or 1 to 2, whatever feels right for you. Then the next thing you do is you start paying attention to any patterns. So are there areas in and of your body? Let's say you feel tense or like sore muscles or something. Is there any area of your body where you feel that more? Maybe it's centered in, I don't know, one of your legs or your hips, arms, whatever. Maybe it's one side of your body as opposed to the other more. Maybe you feel warm, a little bit more cold. Whatever it is, just start paying attention to some of those patterns. Because what that is telling you, and what this is an indication of, is how your specific energy and essentially your spirit, your soul, how it moves. We all have a different rate of movement. We all have our own specific personalized frequency of vibration, which can be measured. Science has proven this. We all have our own specific rate to which it moves out and then comes in. So just start noticing, all of those little things. And it's a really great way to start feeling and really being able to understand what is your energy. How does it feel to you specifically? Because we are each unique. You have your own energy, I have mine, and we all do. And then what that can help you with, once you've done these things, part of the empowerment piece that comes in, and part of why and how it's so powerful, is that you can then start looking at and recognizing if there are difficult situations, maybe conflict, patterns, you don't know why it's still with you, you want to let go of it. You can start thinking to yourself, and really it's like playing detective and figuring out in those specific situations, in those specific patterns, what is the energy that's going on? How do you feel in those situations? How do you feel in your body? And if you're in specific situations, if you're feeling really anything that is not your normal, whatever is your normal for you, you can then begin looking at, okay, does this remind me of anything? Does this shift and change in these certain situations? Does it remind me of earlier versions of me? Of maybe how I used to react to things and it's coming up again? And or is it not me at all? Totally not me. And then you can start figuring out where you may actually be carrying things with you that don't even belong to you, aren't even yours at all. But there is a piece, and this happens really often, by the way, if that is the case for you, by the way. And there are loads of things that you can do to help. And receiving support is one really powerful key to being able to deal with all this stuff so it no longer gets in your way. And that's, again, part of what I do to help my clients, the people I am here to serve and support in personalized sessions. And there's a lot of deep healing that goes on. Another thing we do and we look at is what is yours and what never belonged to you in the first place, and then we fix it. And I help you through that. So it's never, it's not something you have to carry anymore. And you know, and so much freedom comes from that, so much opportunity, so much opening. I'll share a really quick story that I'll end this with for this week's Top Tip Tuesday. You've gotten loads of tips today. I hope you enjoy them. Past few days, I noticed, for me, tension in the right side of my body. And I was noticing and feeling it in my legs, in particular, the calf muscle. And it was a lot stronger and intensified on the right side as opposed to the left side. And I tuned into it all, and I went through and started, playing detective for myself. Because what I'm describing for you, what you can do, these are things I'm well practiced at and I'm trained in. So, if I'm not seeking support from someone about it, sometimes I do seek support from others. We all need that from time to time, and it can really help. But I'm grateful I have these tools, so I'm able to help myself through it. And when you receive support from someone, you learn how to do that. Really good healers and coaches and support systems, they will teach you how you can do that stuff as well. And it's a piece of the empowerment key, and that's part of what I do with people I work with, and I'm here to support. So anyway, I went through the detective process, and through that, I realized what was at the base, what was at the core of it. And I realized after that there was past life healing that needed to go on. So the past few days, I released loads of stuff. Yesterday was a really big, powerful day for me. I released shed loads. I ended up crying and just releasing all this stuff. It was a life that I've not previously, up till then, been aware of consciously. Sorry, that's another train. It's gonna be loud. Woo! And so I released loads of stuff, and cried a lot, and it was amazing because, again, it's not a life I consciously remember. But when I went into my Akashic records and looked at it, it felt exactly like it could have been mine, and just all these tears came out. So, with that was a release of loads of energy and loads of tension from the right side of my body just started to shift and dissipate. And so after I had done that, and that's what I was talking about before, that you really need to deal with your stuff first, what's in your immediate sphere, so that you can make room to be able to take action from there. You need to deal with what's going on in the immediate first. So I dealt with the immediate, and then what I did is this really, really powerful energy healing, to basically help out with the confidence. Because that was one aspect, one energy thread through the past life I looked at yesterday, that needed to be helped and given a booster. And so that's what I did. And I feel so much better. So much better. You'll probably notice I've been talking really loud, or probably quite quickly, and sharing a lot of info. I've been more upbeat because I'm feeling more upbeat. And it feels incredible. It feels amazing. And even my friend who I'm staying with, she said, "Wow, you look different." When I came down in the morning, she said, "You look different." And I was like, "Well, there's a reason for that." And see, that's the other thing. This stuff really is that fast. It really is that fast. But we all need to start with where we are. You need to start where you are first, so that you can build up to and get to where you want to be. And you need to create that space. You need to let things go. You need to release. We each do. And then the world's your oyster, loves. The world is your oyster and at your command. Quite literally. So, and we're in this world, we're on this earth together. We're here to help one another. And so I hope that this video and all the videos I share with you have been a help for you. It's a huge part of my soul mission, and it means the world to be a help. Seriously and specifically. All right, now there's a bicycle going by. Everyone's going by. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm sending you so much love, everyone. All the best, always. Mwah! Shape your world, everyone. And remember, you really can, it's true, create your own destiny. We in our earth need you too. So much love. Bye.